Well, it's been a while. Um, it's currently July 19th, 1:40 in the morning. Um, I think in the last video I had essentially lied and I said that I was gonna make another video. Not to say that I didn't mean that I had wanted to. I did want to, but just so many things happening. Get so busy, and with school and work, um, sometimes it's just so draining that I don't have the mental capacity to kind of make these videos. They're not like super hard to make or anything, but just finding the energy to talk for probably this one's going to be about 30 or 40 minutes is just kind of hard sometimes. I think, and some of my coworkers have found out about my videos that I've been making. So, すみませんが、ちょっと日本語は上手じゃありませんから、英語だけで話すことができますから。But yeah, I think I'm gonna try and have these be more personal than I was making them before. I don't know if I had said something like that before in one of the other ones or not, but I feel as though I don't have many people here that I can really kind of, I can talk to them and I feel, I don't feel restricted to what I say or anything, but there's a lot fewer native English speaking people there's very few English speaking people, and there's even fewer English speaking, like fluently English speakers that I'm close enough with to really connect with, I suppose. So I think even though it's just gonna be mostly one way, I think I'm gonna try, and it might not even be this video, but I'll have to figure out what that means really to be more personal with what I'm talking about. But I think for starters, just well, let's see what's been going on so far. I passed my class, the first one. It wasn't really all that difficult. There were a few concepts that I didn't understand that I learned in that class, but I did get second in the ranking of the class, which is really good. It was only 3 points behind first place, first place, whatever. The first in the class, right? Top in the class. That was only because, or not only because, but mainly due to my ability to write and remember kanji. If I had practiced more, even slightly, like a little bit more, then I would have, I guess, no, I'll rephrase that because I wasn't being as truthful as I'd like to be. If I had practiced, I would have gotten first, and it does bother me because it was something that I had kind of, I was proud about, right? Even though I had um, went into the class kind of regretting the fact that I had to redo it, even though I had paid money and or spent the money on um, the online classes and stuff. I had to go back to the beginning and start over. It still made me feel proud in the fact that I was able to retain some of it and help other people learn it, but still ended up not um, in first place, right? In the top rank, right? Second is still really good, and it does give truth to what I was telling the others, my other classmates. But it it just makes me frustrated that I didn't put in more time to practice the kanji. I'm doing it more now, but it's just stuff that I have to learn from, I suppose. I'm still doing really good in my class otherwise. Like, I'm still one of the top students, but I can definitely, there's definitely like a difficulty increase. So if I don't constantly pay attention and study now, I'm gonna have to redo the class. A few other students at the school that I'm going to have already um, taken that they have been in this class for, I think the most that I've ever seen someone do it was 2 times, or the most that they've told me they've, like, this is their second time taking it, is what I mean. um, but I still don't want to have to, like if I end up retaking it, I can at least feel, I don't even want to say happy, because I won't feel happy. But I can at least take solace in the fact that um I won't have been alone. Like, I know that other people have struggled with this class too, and I know people that have struggled with the first class. So it's it I won't feel I still will feel bummed about it. Like, there's not really a good word that I can use or that I know of, but I'll feel mixed, at least. Like, there will be some bad and some good because of that. But I still really don't want to have to retake this class. I want to be able to focus and everything. Um, but we aside from school now, and about work, uh, work has been going mostly fine. It is very um, it's a learning experience, I guess. It's very tough. Um, every day I'm only doing like really basic stuff. Um, taking dishes away, uh, kind of um, just wiping the glasses, um, and whatnot. Just making sure that they don't have any um, water spots on them or anything like that, right? Um, but it's there's still a lot of times when I have to repeatedly ask people what they're talking about and have to take time away from them in order to have them explain it to me 3 or 4 times. And every time it sucks, because I want to be able to understand them, and especially because sometimes it's just me and another person close by but doing different stuff. but I always I want to talk with them. I want to small talk. I want to, learn more about the people I work with. And it sucks because when I first started, and this might just be like um, a cause or the an effect of me working at this kind of place where there's a bunch of different what are called freeders, which are basically people that just um, send in a schedule and they work that shift for the next week, and their schedule changes every time, and there's a bunch of new people all the time. Some people only work like once a, a blue moon. It's very interesting. This is the first kind of place that I've worked at that it was like this. But uh, what is it? When I first started, I was very, very nervous, understandably so. But I had not really asked a lot of people for their names, and even when I did, I was so nervous that it was hard for me to even remember it 5 minutes later. And it was also hard to hear because everyone had masks on at the time. We actually just stopped wearing masks. It was the mandate for it was just removed by the hotel. But everyone was wearing masks at the time. It's very noisy where we work at because there's a lot of guests and stuff. So I eventually, over time learned some people's names and have started using them, but other people I still have yet to learn. And if I feel as though if I ask now, it's just going to be this whole like, we've worked together for this long, you still don't know my name. That's kind of awkward. But they most people have name tags though, so I can kind of just glance at the name tags. Although, like for mine, it's my, I guess, if from left to right, it's my first name, my last name. But for other people, it's different. It's their last name and their first name, I think. But even then, I'm not sure how the name tags work. It might be different uh, because since I come from America, it might be first name and then last name, right? From left to right. Or it might be everybody's first name, last name, but I don't know. I have yet to. I've tried to ask before, I think, but it just I never get like the answer I'm looking for, I think. Um, but I recently went to an event on this last Thursday on the 13th, and it was pretty cool because the event was called the IFAC World Congress, which I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's some like engineering and sciences like World Congress event. And the event that I worked at and helped that I helped at was it had around 2,000 people in total, and most of them were foreigners. There were a few Japanese people, right? It was people from all over the world, right? So it was a lot of fun. I was very nervous, especially since I couldn't understand I could kind of make out, because we got these papers, and I don't know if I still have them or not. I'll start looking for them, but I'll keep talking about it. We got these papers. Oh yeah, I see them over there. that explained like kind of where everybody was stationed, and like how everything was supposed to be working and whatnot. These are kind of all tattered because I had them in my pocket while I was working. But you can kind of see here that it has like how the table is set up, right? Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's in English, right? And there's a lot of symbols, so I mean, you can mainly understand it. But the thing that I was mostly worried about was they have different menus available, but I don't think I had to worry about it too much. But well, I still don't really know. I think I did fine. I'm sure I did fine, but it did worry me because they have a normal menu, right? But then they also have a vegetarian menu and a gluten-free menu, right? So, making sure to bring the right stuff to the right people was a little frightening, especially because I didn't know, like, I didn't know what food went where. I could just barely ask, like, is this supposed to go to everyone? But yeah, that was one of the things I was worried about. And it also has, on the other side of this, right, it has kind of like a detailed schedule of what's supposed to be happening, but everything is in Japanese. So I'm not the greatest. I can read some of it, but I can't read. I can read maybe 10% of it. Actually, I think that's still giving it a little bit too much credit. So I couldn't really understand the schedule, although I don't think that the schedule had very many important things on it. Because mostly I was able to just follow other people around, so it wasn't that bad. And this is one of the things that I was kind of worried about, because this is where I learned about the menu. Actually, I don't think I learned about the menu there. Anyways, it has the different stuff for the menu here. So initially I thought that I might have to like explain that to people, which was not the greatest feeling. I was definitely not prepared for that, but I didn't have to. I ended up not having to do that. And then here you can also see, although this isn't what the tickets ended up looking like, so I don't really know why they show this. Or maybe to other people that were working, they look like this and they handed them a different ticket, but I don't think that's how that worked either, because I saw somewhere else that it said for the customers to keep their tickets, so I don't really know. This is just what the venue looked like in general. It was a huge, like, not a stadium, but like if you walked from one end to the other, like at a normal pace, it'd probably take you a good like 1 or 2 minutes. And I don't really know if that seems like a long time, but like if you think about just walking, like if you started walking at a normal pace and then stopped at like 1 or 2 minutes afterwards, you'd probably walk pretty far. So this place was pretty big. And I mean, each one of these tables on here is, I mean, like 2 or 3 people wide. So, I mean, if you can see like how many tables there are right this way and this way. And there's also like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because these are just like barriers set up to kind of keep the guests in, I think. I don't know. It was plain and simple. It was large. That's all I need to say. And then with this paper, it shows just like where everybody's stationed at. Although when we were about to start, they ended up shuffling us around. So even though it shows my name here, I was moved up to D1, and then D1 is in charge of like these tables and whatnot, right? So, and then that, right, is back to this one is, oh, let me make it easier for myself here, right? So it's just is a lot of information, especially on paper. And everybody, before we started, everybody was glancing over all of it and then reading like the schedule and stuff. And I was like, oh God, do I need to like memorize this stuff? So I was having like a miniature panic attack before we started. But then as soon as it started, it was just like moving tables out to like this area here, kind of, right? Just like right here, kind of this way of the tables, right? And then bringing it from the table, the like really long movable table out onto the customer's tables in your own block. And then, which was the part that I was scared about because of the different like vegetarian and non-gluten whatnot. But I ended up kind of just avoiding doing some of it sometimes, and then just bringing any empty trays back onto the table, and then bringing it back, and then to the like kitchen area, wherever it would be, and then just bring out the next like thing of food, and then do it again, right? At some point, we ended up having to go help out other tables because they were getting their food out slower, or the guests were taking longer to eat, or something like that, right? But at that point, I was able to talk to some people and tell them about my time here as a student, and that was fun. I wish I had told them that I wanted to actually study like engineering and whatnot, and then maybe that could have gone somewhere, because it was an engineering and sciences event, right? But I'm not good at networking, so but apparently though, at that same event, not the day that I worked, but because the day that I worked was the 13th of July, but on the 9th of July, apparently the Emperor of Japan gave an opening speech, and he was there, so that's pretty impressive. I didn't realize that I didn't really even realize that Japan had an emperor still, but B, I didn't realize that he went to events and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. But the event was held in Yokohama, so it was like 30 minutes extra south from where I normally work. But unfortunately, I didn't have too much time to like sightsee and stuff like that, because by the time I had gotten there, we needed to meet up and start going to the hotel and preparing, and by the time I got done, I needed to head back so I could do like my homework and stuff like that and get ready for school the next day and go to sleep, because my last train here is kind of early. It's at like 12 to 12:30 is the last train, and it takes me an hour to get from Yokohama to the last train, so it's about 11:30, so it's about as close as I'd want to get for the last train. I really don't even know what happened the last time. I don't really even remember when I made the last video. But I don't think too many events have really happened aside from like the new class and whatnot. Everybody in the new class is nice. Um, there's not really anything particular that I'd want to say in the video about it. Um, I do have like specific opinions on specific people, not anything particularly bad about some of the people in the class. It's just I just don't want to say them in the video particularly. Um, but I mean, everything's one of the things that I learned, um, or I guess kind of just today actually, um, is that I did bring like a guitar and stuff like that, and even though I could get like headphones to plug in, so I don't um, disturb any other guests and whatnot, any other dorm mates rather. My bad. Um, it's it's very hard even to do, like I said, even to do just like the video once a week. Even it's very hard to do that. So it seems almost impossible to do school work and also um, as well as, and I didn't even touch on the fact that I'm preparing for exams, right? So doing the Japanese school, um, doing work, and preparing to take, not right now, I don't even think it'll be this year, it might be next year, but preparing to take university exams um, is just is so time consuming. I almost don't have time for myself. Like I specifically took um, this week, Tuesday to Thursday off, so I could um, have some time to myself. And I did that today, and it was fun, but like I still, at the end of the day, when I was or not even at the end of the day, like throughout the day, I was still just exhausted. But not even like um not not particularly physically exhausted, although I was like physically exhausted. I'm mainly mentally and emotionally exhausted. Um, it's just I don't even know. I really don't know why. I I can probably like pick out a few root causes, right? But like I have people to talk to, and uh, I'm not like uh, I don't know. It's hard. It feels like the more I learn Japanese, the worse my English gets sometimes. Um, but I don't know. I don't think I was ever really good at expressing my feelings like this either, so that could also be it. Um, but uh, jokes aside, I do feel, or I'm starting to feel, I guess, because this honestly did just start happening recently. I am starting to feel like not just physically exhausted, but mentally and emotionally drained almost every single day. I'm hoping that this week, since I'm taking these 3 days off, I'm hoping that That'll at least get somewhat better. Although we are starting summer break, I think, at the end of this month or something like that. Um, and it it's a mixed bag of emotions because on one hand, it's a break, right? So I'll take what I can get, but at the same time, we just barely started this class, and I don't really know how well I'll handle the jump back to ship after the break is ended. I'm hoping that I can keep my studies going through the summer break um, well enough to the point to where I won't have issues going back after the break. Um, there's also the fact that during these long breaks, i.e., summer, winter break, spring break, I think too. Um, but maybe not spring break. I don't know. Fall break. I think they have that here. I don't know. Just during the longer breaks, just not like Golden Week because that's only a 1 week long. Um, I'm able to work up to 40 hours a week. The student visa allows up to 40 hours a week during the longer breaks. So I probably will be working a full time, closer to a full time job at that point. Um, but I still don't really know um, how I feel about that either, because uh, at the end of my current like 4.5 hour shift, I'm feeling ready to sleep. So tack on another. It'd probably be like what 2.5 hours because I think every 4 hours I get a 30-minute break, right? So with 8 hours I get 2 30 minutes or an hour or something like that, right? I'd have to double check, but um, tack on another 2.5 hours. It doesn't seem that bad, but sometimes it can be a lot, I think. Um, hopefully, I really don't. I was gonna say hopefully I can improve my Japanese speaking ability before then, but it's a month at best, so it's not really a matter of hopefully my Japanese can improve. Hopefully my mind can improve, I think. Hopefully, like my mindset or like my state of mind can improve, I suppose. Um, the physical exhaustion is, in my opinion, not nearly as bad. The physical exhaustion, I think, is something that is easier to compartmentalize as just I'm unfit or something, right? So it's just like it that is something not entirely out of my control, but can be worked towards passively to improve over time, I believe. So that it's something that I can, in my mind, compartmentalize easier. But having to go up to people at work, or having people come up to me at work, customer or otherwise, and tell me something, and for it to just go into my ears and just disappear the meaning completely lost. Well, I guess not completely. 95% of the meaning is lost. That is harder to compartmentalize for me because I feel as though if I had studied harder back in America online, then I would have been somewhat better at this. And then I wouldn't have had to. Um, it ends up, in my mind, directly translating to my, whether it's directly or indirectly, I don't know, or for the matter, care. It still ends up with the same effect. My not studying leading to a waste of someone else's time. Um, it it just it doesn't feel good. Um, whether or not that's true, my if I had studied more, then I wouldn't be wasting people's time. I'm pretty sure that regardless of if I studied more or harder, I'm pretty sure I would be roughly around the same point. I can understand that concept, and I can I can understand it, but still, whenever I think about if I had done more, where would I have been? What would the outcome have been? Would it be the same? Would it be noticeably better? And if so, by how much, right? Those kinds of questions pop up um, when I start to think about that. And like I said earlier, I could probably pick out a few root causes of why I'm feeling drained, and that's work is like there's a few different ones from each, like school, work, personal life. There's a few in each. That was probably one of them, right? Um, Also, my diet is probably another one. I'm not getting like fat, and I don't think I'm gaining any considerable amount of weight either, or losing any considerable amount of weight. Um, I think for the most part, I'm staying around the same weight. But the reason why I bring up my diet is because I'm consistently eating like food from the convenience store. It's very tasty. It's very um, relatively cheap, easy to get because there's convenience stores everywhere. Um, but it it sure as shit isn't good for you. I'm sure that because pretty much every day my breakfast consists of like raisin rolls, like raisin bread rolls, and uh, like a strawberry and butter kind of. It's like a hot dog bun, and it's got strawberry jam and butter on it. Um, Usually, I'll eat like something like that in the morning, and then after or during work, I'll get like. I used to get this a lot, although I haven't gotten it recently. Like it's like a full kind of pizza on like this kind of a shape bread. Sorry, maybe yeah, kind of like this long, a little bit. Um, and maybe like a yakisoba bread. It's just yakisoba noodles stuffed into like the same hot dog bun thing. Um, Although recently I've been going to like a beef and rice, or like it's called sukiya, which is like they have a bunch of different things. They have uh, curry, they have beef and rice bowls, they have a lot of different stuff. But I've been getting the beef and rice bowls with extra onions, and I feel like that's improving it somewhat because it's not just sugar and bread, right? Anymore. It's also protein and some vegetables. Um, I'd like to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into my diet, I guess. Uh, I'm fine with the onion, right? Uh, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm fine with just eating the onion for the vegetables, right? Is what I mean. But like if I could just buy like apples and bananas or something, I not if I could, if I would, excuse me, if I would just buy apples and bananas, I would be happier, I think. But my reluctance to go do so, because then it would involve putting effort into preparing them and stuff. Not necessarily the banana, but like the apple. Because I still am averse to eating an apple whole for some reason. It just I just it's not that I can't. It's just that I don't want to. It's too messy, I guess. I hate when my hands get sticky and the juice from the apple just doesn't do it for me. Um, but I think that's as much as I um, wanted to really talk about. I do have a lot of pictures that I have taken, especially from a trip that me and a few friends from school went to Miyaken, which is just a prefecture called Mie. Um, I can't remember the exact city we stayed at. Um, it was a very beautiful, um, uh, like, just very. I don't want to say ancient, but it's just like a your old fashioned Japanese styled house, right? Um, and I have not only the pictures that I took, but like the pictures that all of my other friends took and whatnot, as well as not just the house, but like where we went. I have so many different pictures, but it's just like the same thing that I said with these videos. I want the pictures to look good, and it might just be like I know that I could just upload them as is, and that would be completely fine. But I do want to try to make them look good. I know that they probably already look fine, right? I get that. But there's a certain art to not just taking the photos, but also editing them as well. That I want to learn both, right? Um, I like to take the photos and I like to make them look nicer, I guess. I used to think, uh, quickly talk about that. I used to actually think about, I used to think that, you know, taking the pictures is one thing, but if you also edit them, that it's somehow removing from the the picture itself, like it's removing from the natural beauty of that taken photo. But I've learned that it turns out most people, aside from like, um, your stereotypical Instagram uploader or whatever, right? that most professional photographers also, edit videos and stuff, and it just never occurred to me before. And while in my mind I still do debate on whether or not to like edit the photos, I still think that it's good to try and figure it out, I suppose. Because I do like the thought of taking a picture and just having it being just, I don't know, just natural, right? Nothing else applied to it. I do understand it. I do in fact like it. The idea of just having a natural photo that's uploaded, and it doesn't even have to be the in what I think is inherently better about it, I guess. And not better, just good, I suppose. Not necessarily better than an edited photo, is just that there are flaws to it, and that I think is what I like about it, is because nothing, even in nature, is perfect, right? So it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, especially with the fact that I'm losing my English abilities. But I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, this one was going to be long because I had not uploaded in a long time. I got to figure out what day this is for the title. But I think that I'm going to start trying to do these once every Sunday. So today is currently Wednesday, so I'll try and upload another one, or record and upload another one on Sunday. But I don't want to make any promises, just in case, because I don't want to lead people on and say, hey, I'm going to upload another one on Sunday, and then if anybody ends up using that as a as a guide of me being alive or not, right? Because I know I'm not the greatest at messaging people, family members or otherwise. I'm not the greatest at that, and I wish I was better, but I'm currently not good at it. So I'm hoping that this is kind of this can be my way of talking to people, once again, family members or otherwise. But this video is already almost 49 minutes long, so I think I'm just gonna cut it here, and then hopefully I really hope there's no parts of this video where it's just like me talking and my voice is so quiet. I hope my voice can be picked up throughout the whole video. That would be very unfortunate, because I am sure as shit not recording another 49-minute video, especially not tonight. But I will try to upload another video on Sunday. So thank you guys for watching, if you watched through to the end, and bye.